Here is a demonstration on creating a Google Scholar author profile, as well as some of the features you can use once you have created your profile. So first, let's start at Google. In order to create a Google Scholar author profile, you will need to have a Google account. If you already have a Gmail account, then you're all set. That means you do already have a Google account. If you do not have Gmail or Google account, you will need to create one. If you go to Google without an account, up here in the upper right, you will see a button to sign in. If you click on that, then you'll see a link to create an account. Once you have created and logged into an account, you can go to Google, and the best way to get to Google Scholar is just to Google Google Scholar. And once you get to Google Scholar, in the upper left, you will see My Profile. This is where you will actually create your Google Scholar author account. I am going to create an account for Teo Liebman. Teo has very generously and kindly allowed me to use him as our demonstration. So I'm just going to fill in the appropriate boxes with the appropriate information. I'm actually going to use my email for verification. You want to use your Hofstra email to verify. You can put in as many areas of interest as you like. I'm just going to put in a couple for Teo by way of demonstration. And of course you want to put the law school home page. I'm going to switch over here to copy the web address so I don't introduce any errors. And once we've filled in the form, we see that Google has generated in the process rather of generating our profile. Since Teo's name is fairly unusual, we don't see any other entries. For those of you with more common names, you will have to choose the appropriate article group. Once you have done that, we go to the next options, which are how we want to be updated. We strongly recommend that you let Google do the work for you and apply your updates automatically. This means as you author new articles and other publications, Google will just update it automatically. You don't have to do a thing. We also recommend that you make the profile public. This way other colleagues can find you. And then you can go ahead and click on Done. And what we see here is Teo's actual Google Scholar profile. Before you go further, you will need to verify that profile at the email address you provided. I'm going to switch over to my email now to do that. And now that I have switched back to Teo's profile, you can see that it is indeed verified. So after you first create your profile, you will want to look to make sure that Google has reflected your articles accurately, that there are not any duplicate entries or entries that don't belong to you. So in scrolling through, if you do find perhaps entries that you think are not appropriate and you want to delete, or if you find duplicate entries that you want to merge together, you just choose those entries, and back up here at the top you then see the choice to either merge or delete, and you can click on those and Google will take care of that for you. Once I have unchecked all of the boxes, I also have the option to add articles using this plus sign. So I can ask Google to add those articles, or I can add them manually. And actually it's more than just articles, it's many different types of publications. So for those of you who write books or chapters in books, you can add those to your Google Scholar profile manually. You can also add co-authors to help you with networking. Google Scholar allows you to add co-authors that also have Google Scholar profiles, so you will only find those co-authors that have those profiles. So I am going to add Joanna Grossman. I'm going to ask Google to search, and sure enough, Joanna does have a profile, and we add her by clicking on the plus and again here, and now you see Joanna's link, and you can link to Joanna's page to see her Google Scholar author profile. If for whatever reason you need to edit your profile, you can edit your entire Google Scholar account up here, including deleting. If for whatever reason you need to do that, you can edit your profile information next to your name. So I might want to separate these two areas of interest, so you can see those as separate entities. Another great feature of Google Scholar Author Profile is the ability to follow your own account. And the reason this is great is that it will allow you to see anytime there are new articles added to your profile. So that's a good way of vetting Google Scholar, since it's not perfect, so you can make sure anything new that's added is indeed yours. You can also see whenever anybody cites to any of your articles. In addition, if you want to follow a particular article and when it is cited to, in looking at that article, if you click on the number of times it's cited by, you will see the option to create an alert. Going back to Teo's profile, also in Google Scholar, you have the ability to search for other colleagues who might have profiles on Google. What you will also see here is the H-index analysis for Teo's publications. If you would like additional explanation on how this H-index is generated, the H-index is used largely by scientific academics. Here on our scholarly impact page in the Law Library, where you launched this video, you will see some additional references on how that H-index gets generated, as well as some of the drawbacks. Also on this page, you can find some other useful resources on scholarly impact generally, as well as other resources specific to Google Scholar author profiles, as well as Hein Online author profiles. These are some of the basics of Google Scholar, and though flawed, it is a very useful tool for tracking your citations.